Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage,
Pull up a comfy chair,
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 163 of A Double and Dice, and today we're going to talk about Breakout Con. Jocelyn, part 1. What'd you say? Oh, we said duh.
No, that's the next one.
We're breaking this up into 2 because we're going to talk about
breaking
our
it
board
out.
Gaming. Breaking it out.
We broke out this episode into 2.
We're going to talk about it in 2. First being what we did there, board games wise, and other stories. And the second part would be RPGs, because we did do both.
That's right.
While we were there. So Breakout Con is, Jocelyn?
Breakout Con is a Canadian board gaming convention that is held annually over what is like the Canadian March break in Toronto, Ontario at the Sheridan Hotel downtown. And it's been going on for a number of years. I don't remember how many, 8? Maybe
I have
longer.
No idea.
Anyway, this was the second time that we went. We went last year too.
Yep, this would have been my second. I
Did
thought
I?
you've been before.
Maybe we went 3 times. Maybe this is our 3rd time. Because I don't think you went the first time we went.
No, probably
now I'm confused. I don't remember. I need Rob, and he's not here right now. So anyway, so we went to Breakout Con. It was a couple weekends ago, and it was a lot of fun. So this time, Rob and I spent 2 nights in Toronto. Normally, well, the first time and possibly the second time we went, we just went in for the single day. But last year, you guys stayed a night, or you stayed 2 nights, right, Kim?
Yeah, we went in Friday and left Sunday, so 2 nights.
Yeah, and when we left on Saturday night last year, we were like, oh, this is a bummer. We should have stayed longer. We should have spent the night. So this year, we made sure we booked our hotels.
Could you not find a room? Did you ask? Oh, I guess you didn't.
The previous year,
yeah.
We didn't have our stuff with us. It was fine.
Yeah.
So Breakout is an interesting convention. It seems like it's primarily focused on RPGs.
It seems
but also has board games and miniature painting and I don't know.
Auction.
Last year they had the Catan championships there.
They had tournaments.
So it can be kind of whatever you want it to be. And one of the big sells of this convention is the market, because you can sign up to sell your games at the market, and there's 3 time windows. So the longer your game sits around, the cheaper it gets?
Not necessarily.
Or does it get more expensive?
People can do whatever they want. They can set it
There's
up
3
to be
windows.
Cheaper. Yeah, They can set it up to be expensive, or they can set it up to not change at all. So
yeah, and what's interesting about this convention, in my mind, is that they still do mask mandatory sections. So
I thought it was only in the auction, though. Not the auction, sorry. The market or whatever. Yeah,
the board game market is mask mandatory, but there's also mask mandatory, like RPGs and stuff, which is fine. Like I'm not anti-mask. I think masks are a very useful tool in preventing the spread of disease. But not a lot of places continue to encourage or require masks. So I just found that a little bit interesting.
I only wore it when I went to the game market. I didn't wear it anywhere else.
Yeah, I have a story on the RPG version that I can talk about. Okay. So anyway, but Rob and I arrived on Friday afternoon, and I think Kim, you and Dave and Noah arrived on Friday afternoon as well.
A little later in the day because we had train problems.
Right.
So we arrived
so we're not going to go chronologically with this retelling, because we're going to talk about the games not in order. Just we separated them as mentioned, aforementioned board games versus RPGs. So when we arrived, they gave us a free game.
Yeah, like they always do.
Yeah, they gave us one last year too. I didn't play the one from last year. This game was called Oh My Pigeons. This year's game.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a Ravensburger's game. Ravensburger. No, there's no S. Ravensburger.
There's no S.
That's Lorcana people, right? And puzzles.
Are they? I'll look
I thought so. I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
Anyway, Oh My Pigeons. It's a purple box with like these cartoon pigeons on it, and it looked kind of cute. So we each took a copy, and they were like, "Do you want more copies? We have way too many." And we were like, "Oh no, this is fine. We just got one each." Hindsight, spoiler, should have got more copies.
You'll know why in a second. I'm looking it up.
Okay. So I'll keep talking. So this past weekend was Easter, and I had hosted Easter for my family yesterday, which was Sunday. And my nephew is about to turn 7, and my niece is about to turn 5. The game said, I think it's at 8+. I think that's just because of reading. But anyway, I set it up to try and figure it out. So here's the pros about this game. First off, the instruction booklet is 1 page, 2 sides. The first side just talks about the game setup, and the second side talks about how to play. So it's very straightforward. There's a deck of cards. The deck of cards have different abilities on them. You have a cardboard bench that you punch out that has little pigeon shadows on it. And everyone starts with 3 pigeons. And there's a 2-player version of the game as well, which I'll talk about in a second. But it goes to a max of 5 players. So you start with 3 pigeons on your bench. The goal is to fill your bench, which I think takes 10 pigeons. 9 or 10 pigeons. And you get pigeons by playing cards. So you can steal pigeons from your other players. You can take swap people's benches. There's different things you can do. So it's kind of like a little bit of a party strategy game. And there's also a die. And on the die, it has steal 2 pigeons from another player, steal 4 pigeons from another player, take 3 pigeons from the flock, which is the extra pigeons in the middle, or 5 pigeons from the flock. And then there's also a poop side, which is why I thought the kids would like it. So basically, if you play the card that says, "Oh my pigeons," you get to roll the die. And if it lands on the poop side, you position the die next to your bench and you flick it at another player's bench. And if any of the pigeons, you flick the die. Oh. And if any of the pigeons come off of that player's bench or any player's bench, they go into the flock and they lose those pigeons.
I fear like this didn't go well flicking the die.
So anyway, I did a practice round by myself before Rob and my family got here just to see how it would play, to try and figure out if I could get my niece and nephew to play this game. And I thought it was pretty cool. So Rob and I sat down. We played the 2-player version to test it out. And he was like, I think it might be too much for your niece and nephew. I don't know if they'll be there. We had a really good time. We played like 5 rounds. We did like a best of 5. And I won. FYI. Spoiler alert. Anyway, so after dinner, we sat down. And I was like, they wanted to play a game. So we played some rounds of Guess Who. And then I had said to Rob, I think this game will work, but we have to partner. Like one of us has to sit with Nathan and one of us has to sit with Penelope and help them. But I think they're going to like it. So anyway, I gave them the option and I was like, we can play this or we can play this or we can play Oh My Pigeons. And they're like, let's play Oh My Pigeons. They have no idea what it is. So we get it all set up. So I partnered with Nathan. My sister partnered with Penelope. And then Rob and Charles, my brother-in-law, both also played. So anyway, so we were sitting there and we were playing. It's a very fast-paced game. You can win very quickly if you get the right cards. Surprisingly, in the I think we played 2 games. No, we played 3 games with my family. Not once did anyone roll the poop side of the die. So we didn't get to flick it, which was terrifyingly sad. Every time Penelope rolled the die, she rolled take 5 pigeons from the flock. But then someone would swap benches. Anyway, it was actually very straightforward. The game was not difficult at all. And then the 2-player version, the backs of two of the benches are a different color. They're green instead of purple. So those are the ones you use for the 2-player version. They have a little peace sign with a line through it, and there's certain cards that match that symbol in the deck. You take those cards out of the deck before you play when you play the 2-player version. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun playing it. I recommend it. If you can get a hold of Oh My Pigeons, I would recommend it. And when I was telling my sister about it, I was like, yeah, they had so many of them. They said we could take extras. She's like, well, why didn't you get more? And I said, because I didn't know it was going to be this fun. So she's like looking it up. How much is it to buy?
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, you can take this copy because Rob has a copy too. And we don't need 2 copies. So you can have this version of Oh My Pigeons, which was partially selfish of me because the kids were like bending the cards. So, but that's okay because they're 7 and 5 almost.
And it's their copy now.
It's their copy now. But it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. And that was the first game we got. And I didn't end up getting to play it until just a couple weeks ago, or just a couple days ago, yesterday, whatever. I can't even talk. And it was fun. That's my story. Did we find out, is it Lorcana?
They are. Yes, they do own Lorcana.
Yay.
I must say the poop face on the die doesn't really look like poop.
It kind of looks like a cloud.
Yeah, or like a splat.
Well, I think that's because that's what pigeon poop looks like. It's like a splat.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah.
But it does
Makes
kind
sense.
of just look like a cloud. So,
And the pigeons are actually quite well made. They're plastic looking pigeons.
They are cute little plastic pigeons.
Yep.
And they're purple, Kim.
Yes.
So anyway, I found it fun. I recommend it as a cute little quick game. And if you partner up with the kids that maybe can't read as great or aren't as good with strategy, then you might be able to have a good time with it. So it was a lot of fun. And it's really just about like messing with the other people that you're playing with, right? Like, I'm going to steal your bench. I'm stealing your pigeons. Ha ha ha. You thought you were winning. Not anymore. Right? So anyway, it was fun. So that was Oh My Pigeons, which was the free game with our event purchase, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And then Kim, I think you want to talk about a game.
Yeah. So this is how my story is gonna go. So I was late to sign up for the discount on the rooms.
Yes.
Which was what floor, Jocelyn? You were on the what floor?
I was on the 34th floor.
The 34th floor.
Yeah.
That's actually quite high up there. So I was
It goes
quite
up
late,
to
so
43.
Oh, okay. So I didn't get that block. So we ended up on the 11th floor. So I booked. No, it sold out by the time I was going to go do
The
it.
room block sold out, yes.
Yeah. So when I was leaving, I don't remember if it was the morning time of Saturday or if it was Friday night. Did I meet you guys Friday night?
Yes, you came down for a drink.
Okay, so maybe it was Friday night.
Did
So
we
I
run
was going
into
to-
you on? We ran into you on Friday.
Did I come down for a drink on Friday though? I think it was Friday.
You did
I
come
came
down
down.
for a drink on Friday, but we ran into you just as you were going to dinner.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was leaving the room and I was heading down to meet Jocelyn and Rob, a gentleman came out of the elevator while I was going in the elevator. I looked at him. He had his head down with headphones on. I kind of vaguely, I'm like, oh, I know whom that is. Eric Lang was staying on my floor.
There
Who
you
knows who
go.
Eric Lang is?
I know.
So I did not bother him because he had his headphones on and he just kind of was walking past. He did look up and smile or not, and I kind of said hi. And then I was reassured that was Eric Lang. So Dice Masters guy. He's done a bunch of board games. He worked with Simon, I believe, on a few board games. So he's done quite a bit. So I was like, wow, Eric Lang's on my floor. How cool. So I went and met you for drinks. Okay, so next day, my first thing was a board game right in the morning time. I went down. I played a demo, so it's not out yet, and I think they're hitting Kickstarter this year, possibly. Okay. It's a company that's always at Breakout Con. It's KTBG, which is Kids Tabletop Board Gaming, I believe it's the name. They make really cutesy games. very kid-friendly, easy to learn, cute games. I think I own 2 of their games, of which they are on the shelf
Okay.
of opportunity. So this
I love that you renamed that for me. Thank you.
I know. I did it just for you. I was about to say the other word, but I decided to say the proper meaning.
I caught it.
So this game's called Pack and Paddle. So it's how do I explain this game? So it's a game where you are going on a camping trip, okay, or a canoe trip, and you're in a canoe and you kind of come off, and then you camp. So what you need to do is you need to get you draft camping supplies, and it goes on your board, which holds about, I think it's 4x3 that it can hold, like your supplies, like the little squares on your board.
Okay.
You can pick up wildlife. These camping equipment have certain things on them that can give you end game bonuses. If you collect X amount of socks, let's say, you get end game bonuses, and so forth and so forth. If you can manage to make a s'more because you collected all the ingredients, you get end game bonuses, and so forth. So that's what's kind of on the little things, and you draft these with the players, and then you put them on your board. There's 3 rounds, which is like, and these 3 rounds have also weather. So it could rain, it can snow. So every round you're picking what the weather could be. It can impact you. It can help you if you pick up a wildlife, so forth and so forth. So you're just pretty much drafting things, and then really at the end it's all points based. You have cards that determines your if you go first, second, third, fourth. I think there's 5 players, fifth, because they range from 1 to 5. So the higher you play, you go first. The lower you play, you go last, whatever, depending on the number. I don't remember what ties are. You're also gaining wood because you need to keep your campfire going as well.
Right.
So it happens at the end of the day and stuff like that. So you build up, and it's really much points at the end. I'm guessing 4 people were supposed to show up, and they didn't. So it's just me and this other gentleman.
So
As
this,
we were playing,
can I just aside for a minute? This bothers me to no end.
Why?
When people sign up for games and don't show up.
Oh,
because you're registering for games. Like, I think I told the story. We were registering for these games. Like, I had just gotten off an airplane and they announced the schedule and things were already filling up, and you registered for a game and we couldn't even get into it because it was full. And I'm like, okay, you took the time to register for this game. Where the F are you?
Yeah.
That bothers me to no end. Anyway, sorry. So it was you and this other guy.
I'm sure if you came in there, you probably could have sat and played. And it happened not only to our game. The next game next to us also happened. It was just her and the person teaching.
Yeah, which is why they always say, like, show up if you, whatever, don't get into something
you
or
never
whatever.
know, someone might not. Yeah.
Someone might not show up, but also, like, how rude. Anyway.
So we had to play a 2-player version, which I think is a little different. They just changed a little couple of things. But the gentleman I was playing with didn't really, we met, whatever, we said our names. As we were playing, who shows up at my table but Mr. Eric Lang.
I've heard this story.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, he's like hanging out at the table. And we were probably into round 1. So, I mean, he could have probably sat and played, but he was hanging there. And then in between turns, I'm like, oh, hello. I didn't even say my name. I said, by the way, I'm a big Dice Masters fan.
Yeah.
He said, thank you. And then he was just hanging around talking. And he started talking to, I guess, the main guy who is part of the publisher, the KTG. But he was at our table. So then he started talking. That was all in between we're playing, which didn't bother me at all. Then he started talking a little bit to the gentleman I was playing with. So then I was like, that's interesting that they're talking anyways. So blah, blah, blah. We finish up. We're kind of finished up. So I'm like, so do you know like Eric Lang kind of thing, right? He goes, yeah, I'm working on a project with him. I'm like, oh, so this guy who I played with, I guess I don't know if he's a designer or an artist or what he is, but he had a prop with him with the game that he was working on with Eric Lang. He's done other games. I don't know if you ever heard of Lanterns.
No.
There's another game that I have, actually. I forget. And he named me a bunch of games. Like, oh, that's neat, working with him. So I guess they were collaborating and working with their whatever game they're coming out. Because I asked him if he was working on anything, and I guess this is what they're working on. But he didn't share anything with me.
Yeah.
Other than I saw the prop, which was, funny enough, a gun-looking prop.
Interesting.
I know. It was like foam. It looked like a gun. So I was like, that's interesting. Then I'm like, oh, well, nice to meet you. And away we went. So that was a board game with my Eric Lang.
There you go.
To it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
you always see Eric Lang at Breakout Con. He's always there.
Yeah. He lives in Toronto, right?
Yeah, he does most of the time. Like I think half the year he's in Singapore now. But he did or does live in Toronto. He's always at Breakout Con, and he's very distinctive. Like you can't miss that guy with his hair.
No, he's very tall, skinny, crazy hair.
Crazy hair. Yeah.
Doesn't dress
crazy tall hair.
Fancy.
No, just a regular
very
dude.
Casual. Yeah. Very casual.
And very nice to speak to. He always says, come talk to me or whatever. I think you're right not to bother him when he's got his headphones on. That's like the social cue, like, don't talk to me right now. But, he smiled at you. That was cool. We saw him as well. We saw him on the escalator, and we saw him, I think, going towards the elevator. So he's always around.
Aha. I found he is a designer, the guy he was working with.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
So overall, Pack and Paddle, would you back it on Kickstarter?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I mean, it was fun. It was it was too easy.
Gotcha.
I guess. It was not.
And this was your backup game, right?
Yes, because
your original game got canceled.
Yes, the original game, I gotta hold it. It's called what I signed up for was Gems of Iridecia.
Okay.
I think is the name of it. And that got canceled, so they never came, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then I had to go find something else, and at that point, it's pretty late.
Yeah,
like, most things were taken.
Yeah.
So, but this one was still open, and I'm like, you know what? It's a board game. It's early in the morning before I have to get on to my next thing at 12. So, I just jumped on it. It didn't even take that long. Maybe like half an hour the game took. So,
yeah. And I mean, to your point, people don't show up. To my point, people don't show up, which is annoying. But you can basically just show up and walk around and find things to join. But it feels a little bit awkward to do that, which is why it annoys me. Like, sign up for a game, show up. If you can't show up, cancel. Anyway. But the other thing the game does is they lock the event signups and removals like 3 or 4 days before the event. So if something happens and you can't show up, you don't even have the option to pull out. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they locked it on Monday this year because the game started on Thursday. It runs Thursday like afternoon until Sunday night. So yeah, I think they locked everything on Monday. And if you needed to drop, you couldn't drop anything. You couldn't add anything to your schedule. You just had to show up. So I think I told this story last year, but like Rob and I signed up for this RPG and then we got a notice it was canceled and we already had our tickets. So then we showed up just to go into the walk-in RPG section and the game that we wanted to play was still scheduled.
But they weren't there.
So we signed. No, they were there.
Oh.
So we signed up and played the game anyway.
What?
Weird. That was last year. So anyway. Okay. So Saturday morning, Rob and I played Blood on the Clock Tower. So I didn't know really anything about this game except that it was a social deduction game. And what we usually do when we go to Breakout is we play RPGs. And this was something a little bit different than an RPG. So we thought we would give it a try. Wasn't really sure what I was getting into. I'm pretty sure, unless I've gotten confused, I'm pretty sure this is one that Jackalope Span likes. Nick. So,
okay.
Anyway, I was like, yeah, Nick can chime in if he's still listening. And then, so we're like, okay, well, let's try this. So we get there It's a beginner design game. Now, people are really into this game. There are people that play this game. There are people that like drive hours and hours to play this game. There's like a little community. It's a little bit insular where people are kind of like they know each other, but they were also quite welcoming. So the guy that was running the game took like an hour to explain it. So Rob and I had never played any of the types of games like this before, the social deduction games like Secret Hitler or whatever else those things are called. So we've never played anything like that. There was a couple of people that had played similar games like Secret Hitler. So anyway, the guy that was explaining the game, and no shade on him, like great on him for running. He did a great job once the game got started. But the explanations were very difficult for me because he was like, unlike other social deduction games like this game, this doesn't happen in this game. Instead, we do this. Like, just tell me what we're doing. Don't tell me what we're not doing. Right? So then there was another guy who had been there, who had been a long time player of the game, and he was trying to help by explaining things more. But at that point, I was just extra confused. So what I would say is the lead up to the game was a little bit challenging. And I probably would have had an easier time playing the game had I done any research on it before or watched any type of YouTube video or anything about it. So I had no idea it was this popular. So basically how it is you're in a circle, you sit in a circle, and everyone is given a role. So the goal of the game is that you have to kill the demon.
Okay.
So there's villagers, or they're not called villagers, but let's use the word villagers right now. So there's villagers, and then there's a demon and his cronies, and then sometimes there's some extra people in there. So basically you're given a persona, and the game plays in two phases, day and night. So during the daytime, you talk to other people and you ask them questions and you try and figure out who is who. And at the end of the day, they call you back to the circle, and you can accuse someone of being the demon, and then there's a vote. And then if that person's the demon, they die. Or if they're not the demon, they still die if you vote to execute them. Then you go to the nighttime, and certain people in the nighttime have special powers. Like there are people that get certain pieces of information. So I think we had 14 people. So there was a demon, the demon had 3 friends, and the rest of the people were the villagers. You pick out who you are randomly based on this, like it's like you pull your name out of a hat or whatever. So I ended up being a demon friend. I was the poisoner. So the poisoner every night gets woken up by the game master. So what does that mean? So when night comes, you all sit in your circle after you've executed somebody, and you close your eyes. And if the game master has information for you, like me as the poisoner, I have to poison somebody every night. He would tap me on the knees, and then I would open up my eyes and I would point to someone that would be poisoned, and then he would confirm that person would be poisoned, and then I would close my eyes again. So he does that. The first round takes longest at night because there's people that get information just the first night. And then other people get information every night, like the monk gets information every night because they're trying to protect somebody. So I was very confused about what was going on. There was a lot of people in this game that knew what they were doing. I was just pointing at random people, be like, poison that person, poison this person. I had no idea what was going on. And then when you die, you still get to play. So you don't like leave or anything. Okay. You can still talk to people as a ghost.
Okay.
And you still get a single vote. You get a candle, and then you get to vote once more in the execution rounds. So anyway, I used the fact that I had no flipping clue what I was doing to my advantage. So I just kept going up to people saying, I'm really confused. What happened last time? Why did that person die? Why did they vote about that person? And everybody took me on my word that I had no idea what was going on, which was entirely true. But ultimately, we got towards the last round, and the demon was still alive. Myself and one of the other demon cronies was still alive. So there was 3 of us still alive, and only 2 of the townsfolk still alive. All the townsfolk had killed each other, thinking they were the demons. So the one guy who was dead came over and he's like, come talk to me in the hallway. And he's like, tell me what's going on. What are you? What is this? What is your role? And I'm like, I'm this. And I didn't say it when someone asked me to say it because I got so confused and I was overwhelmed and I was like freaking out. And I went on this whole thing. He's like, just go in there and tell them that.
Wait,
so I went in there.
Into the room?
It's normal. It's normal for people to go and have like, go
Okay.
into the hallway and have secret conversations and stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So I went back and I said, and I was like, okay, listen, I said, I'm this. And like a couple of rounds ago, everyone's like, if you're this, you should speak up now. And I was like, I was so overwhelmed. And this is the first time I've played and I'm really sorry. And I know this sounds suspicious, but I didn't know what was going on. And I completely forgot that I was that person and whatever. So I'm like, and I said something that everyone had been telling me to say. I can't remember what it was. It doesn't matter right now. Anyway. It was like some kind of code. So they all believed me that I was this other thing instead of the poisoner. And we voted out all the townspeople and they all died and the demons won.
And what was Rob?
He was the monk.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the monk. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was very, very crazy. I didn't really know what was going on. I still had a lot of fun doing it. For me, it's a game that kind of put me out of my comfort zone because I am not used to talking in front of people in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So about like things that I don't know what I'm talking about and making things up and stuff. So anyway, I used all that to my advantage and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe this is the first time you guys have played this type of game. And we're like, yeah, this is the first time. He's like, you did so good. Anyway, it was fun. It won't work for me next time because some of those people remember that I'm the first person that like lied to everybody and said that I was the whatever when I was actually the poisoner. So anyway, it was fun. We had a good time. And that was Blood on the Clock Tower. So it's not the type of game you want to play if you don't like speaking in crowds or if you're not good at lying to people. Because if you end up being on the evil side, you have to do a lot of lying. So yeah. And you don't want to play it with a bunch of people that are like, I mean, playing with experienced people helped, but there was a lot of experienced people in that room, which I think worked against us. But I almost feel like it's an addiction. I can see why people get like sucked into it, that they play it a lot.
Yeah. It's almost like a role playing, right? So
it's role playing. It's like, it's not quite LARPing. Like live action role playing, but you have a character. It's kind of like a murder mystery.
Sounds like that. Yeah.
It's kind of like a murder mystery. Anyway, people that have been playing it a long time, they were making notes and they had like everyone's chair had a number and they were writing our names down and they were making notes. I'm like, should I be making notes? I don't know what I'm making notes about. Can you please tell me what happened? I'm so confused. Anyway, it worked in my favor and we won. So I liked it. It was fun. I would play it again. It's not one that I would buy. It's not one that you can play without a whole bunch of people. Like you need a lot of people to play that game. But I can see why this type of game sells out at these conventions. So similar to your game, Kim, like this game was sold out. The game master had put an extra spot in for his buddy, not on the list, but he had said if he shows up, we'll add him in. And then like 5 other people showed up that wanted to get into the game, but it was sold out. So they waited and then 4 people didn't show up. So 4 of them got in. So the other guy left and didn't come back. So
the buddy?
No, it was some other guy. Because we were getting close to time and he was like, yeah, he's like, there's this many spots available. And if you've played before, I'm going to do the explanation, which is going to take 20 minutes. He's like, so if you've played before, you can come back in like 20 minutes. And then if there's still a spot, you can get in. But I think maybe that person just went and found a different game. So
yeah, I don't think I would enjoy that.
Yeah, it's definitely different. We actually ran into Dave and Noah on in the afternoon after we had played it. We were going to get a sub at Subway, and we ran into them coming back from the ROM.
Yep.
And they had their lunch with them. It was like mid-afternoon. And we were explaining.
They were late eating, 2:00 or something like that.
Yeah, they ran into some problems. Some of the subways were shut down.
So
they had to take a different subway. They had to walk further anyway. But we were explaining it to Dave and how we had a good time. He's like, yeah. He's like, I wouldn't like that game. He's like, I'm not good at lying people. I don't like to lie people.
No, he wouldn't either.
No. So yeah. But anyway, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't go out of my way to play it. Like some of these people drive like hours every week to play with a group.
And how long does it take?
The game itself took about an hour. The explanation took an hour because he got a little bit too deep into the explanation. It probably could have been streamlined. So I think you can probably do it in like an hour to 90 minutes, depending on the experience level of your players.
Maybe there's longer ones too.
There probably is. I think this was one of the introductory versions. There's different like expansions. So maybe not expansions, different scenarios. Scenarios is probably a better word. So
mission, not a mission scenario. Yeah.
No, it's like a scenario. So anyway, I liked it. It was fun. I would do it again. I would not go out of my way to buy it or be like, hey, Kim, Dave, on board game day, we're going to play Blood on the Clock Tower. We're going to invite 14 other people over. We're like, no, we're not doing that. But I would
need more people.
Yeah, you need more people. It's definitely a big player game.
Did Rob enjoy it?
He did. Yeah, he did. So he also wasn't really sure what he was doing. He was trying to protect people. About halfway through, he figured out he needed to try and figure out who the helpful people were so that he could protect them so that they could continue getting information. But then some of the people that were helpful, I was poisoning, which means the information that they were given at night was fake. Because that's how it works. So they get incorrect information. Anyway, we had a good time. We would do it again. So
cool.
Yeah. I guess the only other story we have about Breakout Con that I'm going to tell in this version, this part, is the fire alarms.
Oh my gosh.
So it sort of ties into RPGs, but we had a break between our game and our nighttime RPG. So we dropped into a charity D&D game. Side note, I don't ever want to play D&D. It is way too complicated. Even when they handed me a pre-generated character, there was way too many things going on with that character. It's not my style of role-playing. No shade to anybody who likes it. Everyone likes what they like. I'm not here to yuck your yum. I didn't like it. But it was a charity game, so we just were sitting in for a little bit because we had time. So while we're sitting there waiting for our game to start, our pre-scheduled game, the fire alarm starts going off. So anyone who lives in a big city knows that when a fire alarm goes off in a large commercial building, you don't immediately leave. You wait until they come onto the speaker to tell you what the F is going on. Right? So the alarm's going off and the speaker guy comes on and basically like, there's an alarm on this floor in this side of the building and we're waiting for the fire department to come and whatever. Well, as soon as the alarm goes off, you know what happens to the elevators?
They stop working.
They stop working. We thought we had so much time before our next game. But because the fire alarm went off for like was it like an hour?
Yeah, because I was out eating and when I came, it was still going off.
Yeah, it was close to an hour that the fire alarm went off.
And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, that the fire alarm was going and the elevators were down.
At least it wasn't annoying.
I mean, debatable, but okay.
It wasn't like, it was like, Like,
yeah. But then like every 3 minutes, the guy would come on the speaker and tell you what was going on. And then you couldn't hear what was happening. So anyway, we didn't have our stuff for our evening RPG. We had left it in our room because we're like, oh, we'll go back up to the room before the thing. Well, then all the elevators were jammed. We couldn't get in an elevator. I get very anxious if I'm going to be late for something. Mm-hmm. I do not like being late for something.
I agree with you.
So we couldn't get in the elevator. The elevators were all full. I was freaking out. I was like, we're going to be late. Maybe one of us should go check in for the game and then the other person can go get our stuff. And Rob's like, it's going to be fine. Don't worry.
That was a game that we were going to.
Yeah.
Same, yeah.
So Kim ended up checking us in because it was the game that all three of us did together.
Yes.
So she's like, I checked you in. They know what's going on. Just get your stuff and whenever you get here is fine. So it all worked out. And I think we were still on time for the game.
Yeah, you were.
But it was making me very anxious. So that was the first fire alarm. So that was in the afternoon. That was like around, I don't know,
3:30, 4 o'clock.
3:30 to 4:30. Yeah. Okay. The next fire alarm happened at 5:12 a.m. the next day.
Yep.
So So that night after our game, Rob and I went to get a snack and a drink. And then we came back to the hotel bar. We had another drink. It was like 11. I was really tired on Saturday night. Friday night, I was like, woo, let's party. Let's stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. We didn't, but I was like, I could have. But it was probably like 11:30 when I went to bed on Saturday night. And at 5:12, we're rudely awakened by the fire alarm. And of course, the guy doing the speaking. Now, I will give them this. They got that alarm solved fast. So
yes, it was like a half an hour.
It was less than half an hour. It started at 5:12 and it was done by like 5:35. So it was just over 20 minutes. So good on them for getting it solved quickly at that time of the morning. But like at that time of the morning, like how do you get back to sleep?
Yeah.
Rob didn't. He just got up.
Noah was like, I can't go back to sleep. I'm like, yes, you're going back to sleep. Which we actually all ended up sleeping in.
Yeah. I decided to try and sleep. I think I maybe slept another 20 minutes. And then I got up around 7 because we had a game at 9. But after Rob tried to get back to sleep for like 10 minutes or something like that, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to get up for the day. So he just got up and had a shower and hung out and stuff in the morning. And had a leisurely morning before our game. So yeah, the fire alarms were a thing. I've had fire alarms at hotels in the past. There was one year we stayed at the Hyatt during Fan Expo. There were 2 fire alarms in the same night, and they actually evacuated us both times.
Oh.
So we were on, I don't remember what floor we were on, 16 maybe? Maybe it wasn't that high. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we got evacuated. We had to go down the stairs. We're outside in the middle of the night. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, walking around the mostly empty streets of Toronto. They finally let us back inside. We go back inside. 2 hours later, another fire alarm goes off. And they evacuate us all again. So that was crazy. So that was my other hotel story of 2 fire alarms in a single day, but both of those were in the night. So
I assume they can tell if it's smoke or not.
Yeah, I mean,
to make you evacuate.
I guess. I mean, that time when we were at the Hyatt, they had everybody out. They evacuated all of us. But we were on the 34th floor. And I was like, that's a lot of stairs.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine we had to?
Yeah.
All those people, because there's other conventions going on.
Yeah.
All those confused people down a stairway that's probably not as big.
Mm-mm.
That would have been in your PJs, in your...
Yeah. I know. I was sitting there and I was like, should
cold.
I get dressed? Should I get dressed? I was like, no, I'm going to wait. And they got it solved really quickly. So, I mean, if they announced that we needed to go, it wouldn't have taken me long to throw on a coat and some shoes and change my clothes or whatever. I could have just changed clothes in like 2 minutes and been out. But yeah, 34 flights of stairs. So,
yeah.
To your point about the hotel block, Kim, like the fact that we were on the 34th floor, I don't think had to do with the hotel block. They didn't have all of the Breakout Con people in the same area at the hotel. I am a member with status at the Sheraton because it's a Bonvoy program. And with status, I get to request a high floor. And we actually ended up on a lower floor than we had wanted or than they had suggested for us because they upgraded my room to a suite. So our room had a door on the bedroom.
But why would you want a high floor?
I like high floors because they're generally quieter.
When
you're in a city, the lower floor you're on, the more likely you get street noise.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, but I travel a lot for work, as you've heard on this podcast before. So I stay in a lot of hotels, which means that last year I was able to get like premium status at the Marriott chains, which includes Sheraton. So we also had lounge access, which was on the 43rd floor, which gave us access to the free breakfast. So that was kind of cool. And the 43rd floor was actually really pretty. They redid that lounge a couple years ago. The rooms are really tired, though, at the hotel. They really need to renovate those. Yeah, they're old. They need some freshening up. So anyway, so that's the fire alarms.
Yep.
So you guys got back to sleep after the fire alarms.
We did. We went all back to sleep and got up late.
Yeah. Yeah, we made it to our game. So, but that'll be a story for the next episode because that's an RPG.
Yes.
Anything else on board games or Breakout Con, Kim?
Did
you buy anything?
No, I did not buy anything. I went to the
Wow.
shops, but I didn't see anything that intrigued me.
Right.
And I did not realize that the sell and buy, whatever you want to call it, board game
Auction thing.
thing, takes cash only.
Oh.
So I don't carry cash. So even if I went through everything and I saw things I wanted, you really have to look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have cash on me, and I believe it's cash only. So
I mean, I could have helped you with that. I usually have a little bit of cash.
now I know.
Mm-hmm. So for next year.
Yeah, but it also depends how much time you have, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't really start that until like afternoon time or something like that, right?
Yeah, and then you have to go in at certain times to get your bids in or whatever, and then yeah, it's weird how it's run. It's an interesting convention.
Yeah, so I feel like I need an hour in there just to go through everything and see if anything I want.
Yeah, because it's also not really organized in any way.
No, they just put the games wherever.
Yeah, like there's a general alphabetizing sort of.
I don't know. I feel like most games are there and lined up. Very small games are on one table. Big games and big boxes. I don't know if you saw those like Kickstarter games that had like bunch of games. Like, those are all on the wall.
I didn't go in this year.
Yeah, they had an RPG section, books and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't go in this year. I didn't bring a mask. So I forgot about mask only sections. But last year we went in. I didn't have a mask last year either. But I went in while they were still setting up. We didn't realize, I think, that they weren't supposed to have people in there, but everybody was in there anyway. And then they kicked us all out because we didn't have masks on.
Yeah, I think they have them at the desk.
Yeah, they have them until they run out.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for next episode. So, okay. So Breakout Con going next year, Kim?
Yeah, I'll probably go back again next year.
Probably go back again.
Yep.
Yep. Good stuff. We were busier this year on Saturday than we were last year, so we did not get to have dinner with you and Dave and Noah.
No, I didn't have much time. It was like quick go and eat. And I think Saturday night, actually, my sister was in town. Yeah. With my niece and her husband. So they hung out with Dave and Noah, and they played Home My Pigeons while I was at a game. And then I met them after. We went to Milestones. Okay, so before we went to Milestones, we were going to go to the Firkin.
Right.
Okay. So there was a guy sweeping out in the front. We're like, okay, trying to get around the guy. We're going to walk in, and the guy's like, "Are you 19?" And we all look at each other, and we're like, "She's not." To my niece.
Right.
And he goes, "It's 19 and over only." We're like, okay, like we didn't know that. I'm sure he probably would have been kicked out if we actually made it in because she doesn't look 19. I'm like, okay. And then we're like, great, where do we go now? And then right across the street was Milestones, which worked out because they still had like happy hour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty good. We just had a bunch of appetizers, and I had a few drinks, and I was very buzzed. So I was quite happy. Then we walked back because they parked under the hotel. So we walked back and said our good night. So it was just me because Noah had to go to sleep. So
yeah,
day duty.
Yeah. Yeah, we ended up, so after our game, we went back to our room to drop off our stuff. And then we went to, I think it's called the Queen Mother Cafe. It's on Queen Street. We were going to go to the Rex. The Rex is the jazz bar. We went to the Rex on Friday for dinner. But the band that was on had like a $40 cover or something. And there was only like an hour left or less than an hour left. And we're like, well, we're not going to pay the full price if we're not going in for the full show. Usually the Rex is like a pass the hat kind of place where you put money in the jar type thing. So anyway, but we weren't going to pay that for part of a show. So we ended up going to the Queen Mother, and we just got some appetizers. We got some samosas and some spring rolls, and we had a beer. And then we went back to the hotel bar. Rob had another beer, and I had a gin and tonic. And then we went to the room, and it was bedtime. So, and then Friday night you came down and met us as well at the bar.
Yeah. And I
we
had
had
a
to
gin
drink
tonic.
it first. You had a gin and tonic, and I was like, oh, I should have got that. I had a beer. Beer is like nice, but it gets filling sometimes.
Yeah, I have to really be in the mood for a beer.
Yeah.
I like
you had the gin and tonic, and I was like, I should have a gin and tonic. I was looking at the cocktail menu, and I was like, I kind of want one of these cocktails, but I don't know which one. I can't decide, so just give me a beer.
Yeah, we had like dragon fruit martini at Milestone.
Nice.
It was really good. And then I had another one which I can't remember the name, but yeah, they were good. I love martinis. I even like it like just plain old martini with gin, not vodka.
Yeah, gin martini with olives. That's the best way. Absolutely.
Yep.
So
games, drinks, and food, great.
Yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, we packed our schedule on Saturday. It was a little busier than we had expected, and then with the timing of your games versus our games, we didn't have time for our dinner. So we only got to see Noah really briefly. We saw him briefly on Friday night when we ran into you guys. We were looking for coffee. You were going in to get dinner at the food hall across the road from the hotel, and Noah was playing Shy.
Yep, always.
Usually he likes me, though. He doesn't usually play Shy for that long.
Everybody. But yeah, he even,
not usually for that long, though.
Plays Shy, so.
Yeah, and he played Shy on Saturday, too, when we ran into him and Dave on the street. So he talked to us very briefly on Saturday. Said that he liked the ROM and hurry up, Dad, before my pizza get cold.
I guess he was hungry.
I think he was hungry, so they were heading back. But yeah, they had to take the Young line, I think, because the university was not running. So they had
there's a lot of problems going on.
Yeah. There's a lot of train issues on the weekend because there was the GO train issue, which was related to the poor little boy that died. So the train wasn't running because of the investigation, and then the transit was all shut down for maintenance or something. So things happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would go back. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, I enjoy it. If I can get out like earlier on a Friday, I would go do something on the Friday, but
I was glad that we booked the game Friday night this year. So we did a Friday night game. We did 2 games on Saturday with the D&D charity game, which was the drop-in thing, which was the bonus game, and then we did an RPG on Sunday morning. So yeah, I have lots of RPGs to talk about next week.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, okay, so let's end the board game section of Breakout Con, and we will move to the dice bag. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So, dice bag. Aforementioned Jackalope Spam says, I'm a sucker for expansions. There's some you can't play without. Unknown Force said, I always get confused when someone says expansions, but it's a separate game like Wingspan or Finspan. Expansions for him are games that require the base game and can add to other expansions onto it, like Dominion or Catan. And then Peter Vandervelder piped up and said, if it can't be combined with the original base game, it's not an expansion. And then Kim joined in and said, sometimes they call those games standalone expansions. They can be played with the base game or on its own. But yes, in the case of Wingspan, Wormspan, Finspan, they're standalone games that can't be combined together. Expansions to you are
me.
Yeah, you are games that require the base game. And I agree. Jackalope Span also said also better than expansions or big box editions. They get him every time. And he put in a picture of Orleans big box, Carsicone big box.
And where do you put that on your shelf? I do not know.
Yeah, they don't fit. I mean, you saw my Wingspan box. The thing's massive.
Yeah.
The nesting box. So so that was all the expansion talk.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. I think that's all we got. Is that all we got?
Indeed. And that's all we got.
We got fire alarms, we got Eric Lang, we got board games. What more can you ask for in an episode of a double on dice? And pigeons. Oh, my pigeons. That was the best part was getting the kids to say, oh, my pigeons. Like you have to say, oh, my pigeons when you put that card down before you roll the die. And then Penelope, oh, my pigeons. Anyway, it was funny. So on that note, have you played Oh, My Pigeons? or Blood on the Clock Tower, or you probably haven't played Pack and Paddle because it's in pre-testing.
Yeah.
But have you had an experience at a hotel with a fire alarm, or been kicked out of a bar because your niece was underage? We want to hear all of those stories, so you can let us know in all the usual places. You can find us on Discord at a DM North TV. We have a Double and Dice podcast combo chat there. You can add us on Discord at SuperK at JawStitch, JOCE Stitch. And if you're fancy, you can add us as friends and make a group chat with the two of us if you want to do it all private like. You can find us on all the socials at DM North TV. You can find Kim and Matt playing board games most Saturday nights at at twitch.tv/DM North TV. And the replays go on to youtube.com/DM North TV. And you can also send us an old-fashioned email at trippledpodcast@dm-north.com. So until next time, on a double and oh my pigeons.